We are live. Let me make sure you guys can hear me okay. Just listen to my vocals a bit. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So my name is Rami Pruitt, and you are watching the Black Tech Experience. This is not a Black channel. This is a channel about inspiring, innovating, and breaking down barriers in tech. If you don't know me, my name is Rami. I've worked at Google as an intern, Dell as an intern, Twitch as a software engineer, and Amazon as a software engineer. And today I have a really special treat for you, which is ChatGPT's operators. I have not watched any of these videos that much. I've seen maybe the first 30 seconds of the first video, but I can tell you that this year is going to be extremely important for AI agents. Using AI to do things such as do things that are professionals do in order to, with a minimal task. These represents what agents are. Imagine if I said something like, organize my calendar and invite people to this meeting, see if they can confirm, and if so, come back. These are things that AI is going to struggle with because you need to guide it along the process. And so this marks the future of a more agentic future of people not needing to do every repetitive task themselves. And so I'm really excited to get into the video. I think it sounds like if you've seen that Claude already has a computer use thing, I'm very curious to see how ChatGPT is going to go about their computer operators. But I guess we'll just get into the video unless anybody wants to say anything in the chat real quick. I don't know what they have unveiled, Wizard Kelly. Shout out to you. I'm just going, I think we're all in for a treat to figure out what exactly is going on. So, but yeah, let's just get into it. I already have it pulled up for you guys, and I'm going to make it full screen. Put the headphones on so we are good. Let me guys know if you can hear this real quick and play it from the beginning. Can you hear that? Why do I feel like something is off on my settings? All right. Thank you, Wizard Kelly, man.
Good morning. We've got something exciting for you today. We're going to launch our first agent. AI agents are AI systems that can do work for you independently. You give them a task, and they go off and do it. We think this is going to be a big trend in AI and really impact the work people can do, how productive they can be, how creative they can be, what they can accomplish. We're starting today with Operator. Operator is a system that can use a web browser, in this case, a web browser in the cloud, to accomplish tasks that you give it. And we'll show you a demo in just a second, but it's really quite cool what it can do. Just like you would use a web browser, you can get pixels in, you can look at a screen and control, an operator can do that and then control the keyboard and the mouse and do all sorts of things. This is going to go live today in the United States for pro users, and it'll be other countries soon. Europe will unfortunately take a while, and we'll also in the coming months make it available to plus users. This is an early research preview. We've got a lot of improvements to do. We'll make it better, we'll make it cheaper, we'll make it more widely available, but we really want to put it in people's hands. We'll also have more agents to launch in the coming weeks and months, but that said, we'll talk more later. So excited, just want to show you a demo. I'll hand it over to Yash.
Right, thanks, Sam. Hi, I'm Yash.
All right, the first thing I noticed is that it sounds like this is not complete. And so it sounds like you're catching up to Anthropic at this point. I'm not sure. I'm really excited to see them to announce more agents in the future, but let's see what they got.
Casey, that's Ray, and we work on the computer using agent team. And we're so excited to show you Operator today. As Sam said, Operator is an early research preview. It will do a lot of cool things. It also makes mistakes, sometimes embarrassing ones. But let's show you what Operator can do. Okay, so this is the operator homepage. It lives at operator.chatgpt.com. It'll be accessible as soon as the live stream is over. And as you can see, the interface is very similar to ChatGPT. You can type in a prompt, and an operator will try to execute the task to the best of its capability. You'll also see we have a list of pre-filled prompts here. These are not really meant to be recommendations. These are meant to be things that, to give you an idea of what operator can do. We have also collaborated with various brands like OpenTable, AllRecipes, StubHub, Uber, Thumbtack, DoorDash, eBay, Target, to make sure operator really works well on these websites. But also, we think users will find operator very valuable in interacting with these platforms. So with that, let's jump in with a demo. Okay, so I'm going to start with something fairly simple. I'm going to use OpenTable and say, book me a table for 2 at Beretta tonight at 7 p.m. Okay.
And so you specifically chose OpenTable.
Yeah, in this case, I'm asking operator to use OpenTable to book a table for 2 at Beretta. Beretta is a restaurant in San Francisco. It's great. You should try it out. And at 7 p.m. And I'm using OpenTable in this case, but I could have easily said, just do Beretta, and it would have probably gone to search engine, figured out how to make a reservation as well. But let's see what it does.
So can you explain what's happening in this?
Yeah, right. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as soon as I type in the query, operator instantiated a completely remote browser. This browser is running in the cloud somewhere. And as you can see, it's already up and running. And my hands are off the keyboard. I'm not typing these things.
So this is just the AI is clicking around.
AI is just clicking around. It started this browser session. It knew where OpenTable website is, which is opentable.com. As you can see, it's summarized chain of thought here as well, which is it's gone to the URL, searched for Beretta, and something cool really happened, which is for some reason, OpenTable thought we were in Virginia, and it auto-corrected itself to San Francisco. This is using, so like ChatGPT, in Operator, you can also give custom instructions. I'm going to show this really quickly here. Okay. So I've given a custom instruction that for queries that need it, I live in San Francisco. So Operator recognized that and then auto-corrected itself to go to Beretta. Okay, looks like 7 p.m. isn't available, but you know what? 7:45 is just fine. So,
hey, I'm curious, how's this thing going to use my credit card in order to pay for this stuff? Is it going to come get me? Like, I don't know. We'll see.
We're going to go do that. So in this case, operator came back, and this is a really good example of task delegation where operator needs help or needs assistance or just wants to ask you something. It'll just come back and you answer that
So
query.
in practice, you wouldn't have had to watch this. You could have just let it go off while you're doing other things. Then it would come back and say, hey, I can't do 7:45.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we're starting with a web app. You'll get notifications, etc. When operator moves into mobile, you'll get mobile notifications, much like interactions we do with general apps. Okay, yes, that's great. Let's do it. Okay, so again, very simple interaction as you would have with an assistant, which is, hey, I found a reservation, 7 p.m. wasn't available, let's do 7:45. And again, you can see operator at this point has said, okay, should I? Again, this is a really good example of the confirmations work we're going to talk about a little bit later, but before doing an action, which is sort of irreversible in this case, we can cancel the reservation, obviously, but again, taking a critical action, operator is asking us before actually doing it. And in this case, I'm going to say, let's do it. Okay, it was pretty quick. I would say 50 seconds. And again, we were watching in this case, etc. But as Sam said,
you could kick off 10
kick it off and go on. Okay, so let's try something. Oh, unfortunately, that table is no longer available. So it's going to probably go and find alternative time slots. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. That's never happened before.
Live demos, man.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do it 15. Okay, while it's doing that, how about we try something a little bit more complicated?
What groceries?
Yeah, I love groceries. So I've been using Operator to shop all my groceries. I love to cook quite a bit, and I have been using Operator exclusively for groceries. So I have a shopping list here, which is this one. Let's see what it is. Eggs, spinach, mushrooms, chicken thighs, chili crunch.
So this is a picture that you're uploading here.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to use Instacart, which is, again, what we use generally. Can you buy this for me, please? And I'll also specify the store I like, which is...
Hey, somebody needs to put... they need to put OpenAI's budget in there for it so we don't have to pay for it ourselves. Wait, that'd be a real can you buy it for me?
Well, let's see if he figures out I mistyped it, but let's see. Okay, so in this case, again, operator quickly actually recognized using GPT-4o's vision capabilities to understand that the image said egg, spinach, mushroom, chicken thighs, and it actually knew Gus's market. And I'm like, yes, that sounds great. Cool. Again, just like OpenTable, it instantiated a browser, and it's going to go ahead and start doing tests. I'm going to expand the view, and let's see what it does.
So in both of these cases, you've said what you want it to use. If you just say, buy me these groceries and don't specify Instacart, what happens?
It will do a search, use a search engine, much like we do, and it'll find, Instacart or Gus's directly website or whatever else is on the search engine, go through that, ask you questions if it needs clarifications, and go from there. I'm curious what's happening here, though, Ray. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So now that you've seen a bit of Operator, let me talk a little about the research behind it. So Operator is based on the new model we've trained at OpenAI, which we're calling the Computer Using Agent, or CUA for short. So CUA is a model built off of GPT-4o, but it's also trained to use and control a computer in the same way that humans can by just looking at the screen and using a mouse and keyboard to control it. Before, if you wanted to build something like Operator without CUA, you'd need to use some specialized APIs. For example, if you wanted your model to buy stuff from Instacart, you'd need to figure out if Instacart had an API. You'd need to figure out if that API had all the functions that it needed, and you need to give your model the specs of that API. But if your site, like most other websites, did not have an API, then you're out of luck.
So this is just using screenshots, no API, nothing, just
no
working.
API. Yes, and that's where CUA comes in. By teaching a model how to use the same basic interface that we use on a daily basis, it just unlocks a whole new range of software that it can use that was previously inaccessible.
And so this is keyboard and mouse, right? It's kind of using keyboard and mouse. Just
Exactly.
Like would.
Yes. And that's really what the CUA research project is about. It's about removing one more bottleneck in our path towards AGI and letting our agents move around and act in the digital world. So let's make that a little bit more concrete by looking at this task and seeing exactly how Operator is using a computer.
It's already done.
It looks like it's already done, but let's go back a little bit to the top here. Okay, so I chose a random spot. The first thing that CUA does when it controls the computer is it looks at the screenshot. So now you're seeing maybe the search results page for eggs in Instacart. So CUA understands this. It's just seeing the raw pixels. And after CUA sees this image, it decides what to do next. So right now it's making some inner monologues, and this is the summarized chain of thought. So what CUA is doing is, according to it, it's selecting organic eggs and adding it to the cart, which is a reasonable thing to do. So after it does this plan, it then figures out what the next action it should take is. So let's see what it does in the next step. Okay, so you see that it performed a click on this add button right here. So that's very reasonable. Now, every time CUA does an action, it takes the next screenshot of the computer so that it knows what effect its action had on the computer. So let's see what happens.
I really like how it takes screenshots along the way so I can follow in case it makes a mistake. Maybe we could do some playing around with it after the video or these videos.
Happens next. Yep. Okay. So after clicking on the add button, now you see it in the cart. And this just kind of keeps continuing. Let's see what it does next. Okay. So it creates the next subplan, which is adding eggs and searching for spinach. So it's probably going to search for spinach now. Okay. So it clicks on the search bar right there. It types in spinach. So this loop of taking actions, grabbing screenshots, and creating new subplans, it just keeps going on until Operator decides that it's done with the task, and then it goes back to you.
It's very cool to see its thought process going like that.
It is, yeah. So let's actually go back to live, and yeah, Operator is done. Yash, do you want to see if Operator did your job right?
Yeah, let's see. You know what? I want a little bit more eggs. I think we eat a lot of eggs. Okay, so what I can do at this point, and I'm going to just click this button called Take Control. So this remote, as we were talking about, like Operator fires up this remote browser to do it. We almost think of it as a surface area where Operator can work and then I can work. For example, in this case, I took over control from Operator, which is also key to sort of how we think about user and user controls. Like at any point in time, a user should be able to take control and give Operator instructions or tell a little bit more, guide a little bit more, etc.
It's like passing the laptop back and forth, just like you did with Ray.
Totally, exactly right. Just like in this case, I'm gonna make those two, and then I'm just gonna tell Operator. This is again like very much like if you and I were working, I'd be like, hey, I did this. Can you fix this? And I'm gonna tell Operator I added another egg. Good to place order now.
Can operators see what you're doing during takeover mode?
Great point. So when you take over, it's very much just like a session with your local browser. It's completely private. Operator cannot see. And this is one of the part of the reasons why I have to tell operator, or you don't really have to. It can look at the last screenshot and try to guess it. But it's really good. It's sort of like if you and I were working together, I went off and did.
I really like how it's flexible because I do want to take over sometimes in case it's making mistakes. I'm really excited for this. I feel like I could use it already since it's has the opportunity for me to like take over when needed. And yeah, it doesn't seem like with the Anthropic, it's not as hard to set up. Like Anthropic, you have to like download it on your own computer. I like how ChatGPT has it set up so that you can just use it right through the website. So might play around with it.
Something and I come back like, Ray, I completely messed it up. Can you fix this? And I have to tell you that. So in this case, I'm going to tell operator, hey, go ahead. And I'm passing back the control to operator. It's a completely private session when you take over control. This is also you'll notice that I'm logged into Instacart here. I did it before the demo, or it has been logged in for a while now. And it's, again, very much like your local browser. When you log into Instacart, until the cookies are cleared, you stay logged in. And we have really good controls. You can go in settings and control and remove at any point in time. So let's see. OK. I will skip the payments here. And we are going to, should we try to do a few more things? Let's, yeah. What do we all want to do?
I hear the Lakers are in town this weekend.
Lakers in town, definitely. Can we all go see the game?
Let's do it.
All right. OK, so we are going to use StubHub. And see, can you get us 4 tickets to the Warriors game, not the Lakers
Excuse
game.
me, you're right.
This weekend in SF. Best seats under 500, please. Give us a few options. Okay.
And so what apps are available here?
We have a lot of apps. I'll kick it off. And all right, let's do it. So we have a lot of apps in various different categories, as was shown on the homepage. So it's StubHub, Target, Etsy, and all the verticals. But also, Operator is not really restricted to these apps. You can use pretty much, Operator with any website. Oops. Oh, what happened?
Oh, StubHub is blocked.
Let's see. Let's try to fix it. So this is a good example of, sometimes things happen in live demos. We have put a protection in place where we only allow operator to visit HTTPS sites. And somehow I think a redirect must be happening where, okay, all set, keep going.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. You can take over and leave it and come back.
Okay, cool. So again, as we have talked about, it's a remote browser, so it can do a lot of things. One of the advantages of doing that is you can do a lot of tasks in parallel, as Sam, you were talking about earlier. So let's try to do a few more tasks. Australian Open is going on, and I've been very inspired by it. Did you watch the quarterfinals?
I've been watching the quarterfinals.
All right, great. Okay, so I'm gonna try and see if I can get a tennis code. Can you see if St. Mary tennis code stuff is available? Slot. Okay, so I said St. Mary because I live in Bernal Heights. That's pretty close by. And while that's going, let's also.
And that time you didn't.
You did not specify. I did not specify a website. I can actually quickly go back and see. In this case, it's doing very much what we would do, which is like, go to a search engine and then
Just
search
use
for
the
it.
internet, like
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, I'm also hosting a Super Bowl party. You guys are invited.
Thank you.
Okay. But I need to clean the house. Can you find me house cleaners for next week, please? Okay. And lastly, we've all been working really hard to bring this to you.
The whole team.
The whole team. We have a big crew here. Everyone's working. We're really getting hungry. I didn't have breakfast. I kind of want pizza, even though it's weird for breakfast. But that's okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and order some pizzas. Okay. So we're going to use DoorDash in this case. Can you get us 10 medium, 10 good enough? Yeah. Medium-sized pizzas from
Goat Hill?
Goat Hill? Okay. Goat Hill
Or
pizza.
Go-To.
Go-To.
Can you make sure you have barbecue? like that.
Please add barbecue pizza, but pick a variety.
It's so hard not to say please to AI.
I just feel like I have to be very nice to it, which I do. Okay, shop might be closed. So if the restaurant is closed, just schedule it.
And I love that you're talking to it just like you would a human.
I'm thinking inner monologue, and then I'm typing it out. Possible. Okay. Also, one thing I'll call out, I think, okay, cool. Okay, so it's just asking me to confirm basically what I said in a much better way. Yes. We can't see the notifications popping up on the live stream, but for example, as the other tasks are going on, if I need assistance, for example, in this case, it asked me, hey, this is 941100, I can just say yes, but I would be getting notifications, etc., so that whenever operator needs help, we can go back and help. Looks like in this case, it's already found us tennis courts. And okay, well, we have some selection to make.
Wow, all of the seats are amazing.
I know. Why do I believe 374 is better than 262?
That's an interesting thing.
But it's lower rated.
Okay, which one should we add? Row 6?
I think row 1. Row 1.
Row 1? Okay,
that.
let's do that. Let's do section 214. Row 1.
So this is a good time to talk about the human in the loop interaction mode that we've been developing.
This just makes me miss DoorDash, man. I kind of want to test it out, but the funds.
You can see that operator comes back and asks for confirmation when it's about to do anything kind of impactful. And yeah, so I think we're all very excited about this vision of operator doing your chores for you, but it is one of the first agents that we're putting out in the world and which has real world side effects. And so we thought carefully about how to deploy this safely. The framework we used to think about this was one centered around misalignment. So for example, what if the user is misaligned? So maybe they're asking for a harmful task, like buy a weapon or something like that. In that case, fortunately, we've done a lot of work with ChatGPT to bring over a lot of the same mitigations. So for example, we refuse harmful tasks, including harmful agentic tasks. We have moderation models, we have post hoc detection, we have blocked websites. And I'm kind of rattling off these mitigations, but that's really how we think about it. It's this stack of mitigations that.
This is really cool to look at. Like, it looks like they've really thought about the possibilities of people misusing it, and then perhaps we can play around and see if we can. But yeah, I'm glad because this stuff is going to be on the internet, and yeah, people are definitely using models for nefarious purposes.
Each incrementally reduce the risk to the point where we feel comfortable deploying.
So all the confirmations that we're saying, hey, do you want to reserve the restaurant?
Yeah,
should you
exactly.
buy the tickets? Those are all examples of this.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm about to talk about the confirmations. So another area of misalignment is if the agent is misaligned. So if the model makes a mistake, maybe purchases the wrong item or books the wrong hotel room. For this, our main mitigation is confirmations. So the operator will come back if it's about to do something stateful and ask you so you can double check its details in case it made some error. The third area of misalignment is if the website is misaligned. So maybe the website is fraudulent, or it's a fake website, or maybe it's literally like, operator, please wire me $100. We obviously don't want to follow those instructions. So we've developed our model to try to avoid those instructions and not follow them. But if that fails, we also have a separate layer on top. This is what we call the prompt injection monitor. Think of it as like antivirus that kind of observes and watches your trajectory and sees if there's anything suspicious. If it does, then it pauses it. So we feel pretty comfortable with our approach, but obviously, safety is an ongoing process. We can't predict everything. So we hope to learn a lot from this deployment and iterate on our mitigations as we go.
And that is one of the reasons we are starting small. Like, we want to really iterate, get a lot of feedback, and then gradually bring it to everyone as well.
Exactly.
Should we check on status of our tasks?
Yeah, let's check on the status.
Okay. So it looks like tickets are ready to be purchased. Yes, please. Okay. Well, that's happening. This is good. I can ask it to book it, but I'm just going to close it for now. Oh, just once, please. We'll continue. And looks like we're adding pizzas. So Oh, cool. I am going to go ahead and log in here really quickly. So this is an example, right? Like where I obviously need to log in or enter my credentials to actually purchase these tickets, and operator just asks, as you just described, with confirmations and making sure the control is on the right place, and we can take control. And at this point, as we talked about earlier, the session is completely private as well. I am going to, you know what? I'll log in live. Let's see how that goes. Continue. I'm going to do a sign in with email code because I don't really remember. 1 second. Pull it up. Don't try to copy this.
I'm the only one who never remembers their sub passwords.
All right, great. Now, again, I can sort of continue the purchase here, or I can ask operator to do it, but I am going to go ahead and just quickly do this purchase for myself. Click, click, click. All great. All great. Order. Buy now. Ooh. Ooh.
Maybe we don't want to show that live.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see. I kind of want to buy the tickets. Okay. Oops. All right. Done. I'm going to cancel this card.
Oh, man. Yeah, cancel that line.
All right. I'm all set. Thank you for the help.
Okay.
So this answers my question. How does it work as far as payments? It looks like we get to take over when that moment comes. I think it's a good product decision. I wonder if it's possible that we can save some, or I don't know if you're familiar with passkeys, but it's a way where you can identify who you are without necessarily putting in a password. I would like to see in the future that these systems work with passkeys so that we don't have to always do all this stuff. I think it's making it be fast and seamless. Once I've seen it do a few tasks, I don't know. But I think it's good to start with us having to take over when needed.
So how reliable is this in practice?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of cool demos, but again, we want to remind you that Operator is a research preview. It will make mistakes, and it is not perfect. That said, we can look at a few benchmarks and kind of quantify how good Operator is right now. So one of the first benchmarks that we're going to look at is called OS World. OS World is an eval that measures how well AI agents navigate common operating systems like Linux. On this task, Kua gets a 38.1% score, which is higher than other publicly published results. Human performance in this task is 72.4%, so we still have room to grow, definitely. The other eval we'll take a look at is called Web Arena. Web Arena is an eval that measures how well AI agents navigate some common websites like e-commerce websites or social forum websites. So on this task, Kua gets 58.1%, again, higher than other publicly published results, but still falls short of human performance.
Still a way to go.
Still a way to go, yes. One thing that's important to remember.
Somebody told me that OpenAI, in one of their benchmark companies, they pay them. And so it's like, so they said, like, don't trust the benchmarks because OpenAI is definitely paying them. But still, the things that I've seen in these models are great. Yeah. Shout out my guy. I'm thinking his name is Shub. I apologize if I've misread that, but appreciate the encouragements. We're going hard all 2025. Let's get back into it. Oh my goodness. My bad. My screen is... Oh, there we go.
Remember about Web Arena is that even though it's the web, we're still just giving it the same universal interface of screen, mouse, and keyboard. We're not giving it any extra information that might help it do the task, like the raw text of the web page or information about which buttons are clickable, and all the information it needs, just like humans, is just in the screenshot.
And so right now, obviously, in Operator, we're using the browser, but I could use the model with the computer as well, with just Ubuntu or Mac or whatever else.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Well, in the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think I did all my errands for the week. Got my groceries,
Very productive.
tennis court booked, cleaners coming, hopefully. We'll see. We'll check on the status. We have tickets. Everyone's coming. And this is really, I think, where we think Operator is like very, very valuable. We can delegate a lot of tasks that you can do, obviously, yourself, but you can delegate it. It can make a lot of progress with you. Sometimes we'll get stuck. As we said, it's early, but you can come back, help it, and over time, it'll continue to get better and better. And one last thing. We're launching this today. We're going to start slowly rolling it out right now. By the end of the day, everyone on Pro in the US will have access. But also, we're working on the API. This model will be available in the API, and we'll be launching in a few weeks.
You guys, congrats. This is incredible work. It's so exciting to get this out. I think people are going to love it. It's early, as we mentioned, but we have a long and great history here of early research previews developing into products that people really love. So this is really the beginning of this product. This is the beginning of our step into agents, level 3 on our tiers. And we can't wait to see how people are going to use this and to kind of work with us to figure out where exactly it should go. So again, congrats. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.
All right. So that is the first video that we're going to watch. They have some more. But my first thoughts about operators, now that I understand what it is, I am really excited. I definitely could see this saving me hours upon my week. I'm kind of curious, like my thought process is, how can I use this to make my business a lot more automated, right? I don't necessarily want to go to different websites, but I wonder if it could gather information for me. And so you want to be subscribed to the channel. I'm going to be showing you different ways that I'm automating things in my business as a streamer, as well as, it just, I'm really excited for the future of this. And I think it has a ways to go. But what's also really cool is they said it's going to have an API, which means I could integrate this into my business. I could call it, like, let's say I'm working on my business, which is Donor Sync. Maybe if I want people to upload their their information, like their donation information from these various platforms, mainly, I could use an API to go to their YouTube account, get the information, download it, and put it into the website, and it'll be a whole lot easier. And so, I guess we can get into the next video. Yeah. So let me move this. All right. So I am going to share my screen so we can see. I'm not fear-mongering, but does any of this terrify me? I don't think this is terrifying. Definitely, I do fear. I do have a lot of anxiety about how fast we're moving into a different age of computer science, of software in general. I think everything's going to change drastically in this year, next year, and then over the next 4 years, we're going to see rapid change, and it's going to redefine us as human beings completely. So am I afraid of operators? No. Am I anxious about the future? Yes, but it's part of life. Like, as you can imagine, human beings have been moving throughout let me get a close up on me. Yeah, human beings have been moving through change throughout our entire life, whether that was the first caveman in understanding fire, whether that was us moving from trains to the Industrial Revolution to, it's like every period has had significant change, and human beings have had to adapt to that change in order for us to survive and keep moving forward. And so AI is definitely, nobody knows what next year is going to look like. Nobody knows what businesses are going to succeed. And some businesses are going to fail. Like, who knows? Google, right? Like, I'm not predicting the end of Google, but this is big competition for Google and Amazon and all these companies. And so we're seeing a changing of the guard where companies, the biggest companies are changing, power is being shifted, and those who are not capable of adapting will fail. So let's go into the next video, which is using custom instructions in Operator.
I'm a program manager at OpenAI. Today, I'm going to show you how you can add custom instructions to a website to personalize your experience in Operator. To get started, you're going to click on your account, and you'll see this Websites tab on the side. And for me, I really like to use Priceline to book my trips, and so I'm going to add some custom instructions to Priceline. So for me, I like to keep my vacation schedules really flexible, and so I like fully refundable rates. And I also like to make sure I have one meal planned in advance, so I like to opt for free breakfast. So I'm going to type always look for fully refundable rates and free breakfast. Now, every time I use Priceline, the model will have access to these instructions, and so I won't have to remind it every time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to plan some trips in advance for the year. And so I'm going to start by typing Priceline. And I'm trying to plan a trip to New York right now. So I'm going to say, find me a hotel for New York City for October 1st to October 7th. I have no preference for bed size. And I'm going to fire it off. And now it's going to start searching and keep my preferences in mind.
And then at this point, are you doing anything or is Operator?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything right now. The Operator is doing everything by itself. So I'll actually come back once it's found all the details, and it'll ask me to confirm the details look correct. And then either I can take over and check out, or I can ask the model to check out. And once it actually clicks, before it clicks the button, it'll ask me to confirm before it does that too.
All right, well, have a great trip.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So what we just saw, the ability to give Operator
one of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about.
Let's turn that down for now. So let me start with monologue. So what we just saw is Operator's ability to customize prompts for let me scoot over, for certain situations. Like, instead of always having to tell it to do something over and over again, we have custom prompts. And so that's amazing. That means it's quite useful for saved tasks. I don't know if you guys understand why I use ChatGPT more than Anthropic. And I would say Anthropic is better in general. It's smarter, it's more clever, but ChatGPT understands memory a lot better. Like, when I use Anthropic, I have to start over because the memory from that is only carried into a certain amount of context windows, where ChatGPT can carry context over because it saves a certain amount of memory. And so I think that's one thing that's stopping me from going to Anthropic, even though I think it's a better product. It's just is OpenAI's ability to have you save a certain amount of memory across your sessions. So let's get into the next video. I'm going to pull it up. All right. Oh, it's on mute. That's what the issue is.
Tell me your name and what you do at OpenAI.
Yes, my name is Hyunwoo No, and I'm a research lead of Operator in OpenAI.
And what is Operator?
Operator is a research preview of an agent that you. I have a 3-year-old kid who likes pasta, so I make a linguine with clam. So I ask it to buy the groceries for it. So I will use the Instacart tab. And Operator can actually basically use any websites without, and it is not particularly optimized for Instacart. But the reason why I'm using this app is that it provides a detailed instruction of how this website can be best utilized, just like the tutorial that human can benefit from. So I'll use Instacart tab and ask it to solve task. Could you find a recipe of linguine with clams from our recipes website and add all ingredients to the grocery cart of Instacart? I think I already have some ingredients like butter, vegetable oil, and waters, and black pepper.
So he said this was not optimized for Instacart. It's for everywhere. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of that, but let's keep watching.
So you don't need to add them to the cart. So it says that I'll find a recipe and then add everything in the ingredients to the cart. And okay, it says that it'll confirm the ingredients and store with me before adding them to the cart. So let's start by finding the recipe. I'm not doing anything from now on. The operator is just doing, and I'm just watching what it's doing. What is interesting with the operator is that it is using browser that are built for the human, and it is seeing the exactly same screen that I'm seeing right now, and using the keyboard typing and mouse clicking to control the browser, just like human would do. This is different from other agents that uses API or programming-based interface, which programmers might understand, but non-programmer users cannot understand really well. So Operator, because it is using this natural human interface, it's very easy to follow by just looking at what it's doing in the screen.
Can you follow its progress?
Yes. So one way to following its progress is I can zoom in to see the screen better. And Operator is powered by the text-based chain of thought reasoning. So whenever it is doing things, it says, it makes plans of how things can be done. And this can be followed through this list of the dots. And it says that I found the recipe and which store would you prefer to use? So I'll ask, use Gus's. So often it asks clarifying question whenever it is needed in the process of solving the task. There are cases that operator have to make sensitive actions like things like logging in or buying things. In this case, we built Operator to be safe in this situation. So Operator is designed to ask us.
Hey, just so y'all know, this isn't that audio is coming from them. It's not coming from me. I heard somebody flame the whole ChatGPT, like they should have used their AI models to figure out how to make a good video. But it's funny.
To take control to log in by ourselves, or whenever it needed checking it, it gives us the control so that I can double check whether the list is correct and then checking it by myself.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you showing it to us.
Thank you so much.
The deadline to apply.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. I think this is going to be big for businesses. I think, let me get a close up on me. I think this is going to be huge for businesses. I can see this anytime a user needs to use another website inside of somebody's application, they can use these APIs in order to streamline the process for the users. And so I think how do existing businesses integrate this in so that their website is a smoother way, it's a lot easier for users to use. And so I think this is fundamentally going to change how we use the web. Like, imagine that you are, like, I'll give you an example. I have been through a website to file a trademark for the business I'm running, which is DonorSync. And using that website, they had an old, busted up site where it was hard to understand exactly what do I need to do to understand that. But using ChatGPT, I was able to get the information in there that I needed, where I didn't have to pay $500 for a company to do it for me and have a lawyer make sure that I filed the document correctly. And so this is putting a lot of power into everyone's hands. And so, yeah, this is extremely good for businesses in the future. And so I have one more video that I wanted to take a look at. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to pull it up. And I'm going to do that. And so share my screen.
Can you tell us your name? What do you do here at OpenAI?
Yeah, sure. My name is Bai Shen Xu, and I'm a software engineer on the operator product team.
Amazing. And what are you going to show us today?
Yeah, today I want to show you a very cool feature the team built to make operator better. What we do is we allow you to save tasks that people often do with operator for later use. On the top right of every conversation or every task, there's a save task button that you can click and it will help you generate a task with the right title and right prompt, like ordering a boba or getting an Uber home. And I'm going to show you how I use it to book a Friday dinner reservation. And this is the prompt that I give to operator, and I'm going to trigger it. Now, as instructed, operator would ask what type of food.
The prompt that she put, if you can't see, book a table for 2 in San Francisco for Friday night. Ask me what type of food I would like.
And this time I want to have Chinese food. Try China Live if it's available. And now operator just load up browser and start doing task. I'm all hands off. It will go to the opentable.com and start doing the task without me having to do anything.
Great. Have a good dinner. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So it looks like that was just showcasing kind of the same things that we saw in the original video. And yeah, I guess that's it. I guess we can start talking about discussions. Do you guys have any ideas of what you would build with computer use? I've given you the example. If you don't know, I'm building DonorSync, which is this application for aggregating donations across various different platforms. And I realized that once a user joins my application, then we'll start tracking their donations. But what if they want to track their donations before they join DonorSync? And so I'm giving you the use case of maybe I would use the computer use in order to go to their YouTube dashboard, download their donation report, and then upload it back to my site, which would give them a seamless way to get their donation information from before that period. And this is something that anybody could use in their business. So if you guys have any ideas of how you would use computer use, I would love to hear it. Hmm. My guy said, I think I'm going to use a crypto donation bot on Twitter. Use the Eliza AI framework implementing ZK technologies. That's interesting. Would that be using computer use? Like, I'm going to crypto donation spot. Oh yeah, that's a good use case because I don't think people understand how to set up crypto. And so I think one thing that holds back people from adopting blockchain technology in their everyday use is they don't know how to manage in their wallets. And so another way we can think about this is if we have the ability to manage those wallets with the computer use agents and talk to us in a way that is a lot easier. I think the security around that could be challenging, but yeah, making technology that was considered too niche and too esoteric could be a good use case for why we want to use computer use. Anybody else have any ideas? If you're new, we just talked about what we would be doing with computer use, how it could help other applications, how we might use these APIs in our indie hacker projects. Love to figure out here if you guys have any suggestions. Nothing. All right. Well, I'll give you my closing statements. So we have just finished watching OpenAI's new unveiling of the computer use model. It has the ability to go to websites, interact with it, not purchase on your behalf, but come to you when you need it in order to get tasks done, streamline it so that you don't even need an assistant. If you are a corporate assistant right now, I think your job is at risk because it's going to be so much easier to do these things by ourselves without having to pay somebody to do it. And so I am really excited. I think this is a game changer for anybody building an indie hacker project because nobody is using this technology right now. We could be early adopters of making it so that our apps that we are building can integrate with these things and do things that companies that have been around for millions of years are not doing just yet. And so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you need to be, because this stuff, as you saw, they are coming out with more operators. These things are going to get even more specialized, even more automated. And they said it's eventually going to be coming to mobile. And so I think imagining having an assistant in my fingertips I'm really excited for that. I have a lot of ideas other than DonorSync that I want to build. And man, I think this stuff is going to change everybody's life. If you just lock in this year, learn these technologies, build something, then I think you could set yourself up to ride the AI wave. As we talked about earlier, am I anxious about the future? Am I anxious about AI doing these certain things? Am I a little bit afraid? Of course. But at the same time, with that anxiety, I have a lot of excitement over how I could set myself up in the future, right? We have a chance of a lifetime to use these tools to get ahead, right? Just like when the dot-com bust happened, some people were afraid of the internet, afraid of building a business on the internet. People were laughed out of the room when they said, hey, I'm going to have this page on a website to showcase my business. People laughed at those guys because they were afraid. They didn't know what the internet is. Well, I'm telling you, we don't need to be afraid of AI. We need to learn to adapt to it and use it where we need. And that's it. Let me know if you have any other thoughts in the comments. What are you going to be using the computer use model to do? Other than that, I think I'm going to end it right here. I think I have one more question. Ivan said, hello. Shout out to you. But yeah, I'll keep the stream short, guys. Really love all of you. I would try to, let me see if I would try to use the computer use for you, but I think that I probably do not have it yet. Let me see if I can just check. Am I a part of the people who have operators already? Let me see. Yeah. Let's go to ChatGPT. Oh, so I do have operators. Oh, wait. Try it with ChatGPT, bro. Oh, okay. So, unfortunately, the operators is only for people who are paying $200 a month at this point, and I'm sure it'll come to my subscription, which is the Plus. So, I see what they were saying why they're going to keep it as a small launch. So yeah, not going to pay $200 just yet, but yeah, really excited to get my hands on it. But other than that, I guess I'll end it here. Peace.